only tend to smoke really nice stuff. Otherwise, I just don't bother smoking. It's the lightest, most creative, most inspiring weed. Yeah, it's very sensual.
Αυτοί οι άντρες είναι οι δήμονες στην κάνναβη.
What it's like for me to be stoned is it's much deeper than you're straight. I've just got to deal with stuff, consciousness. I've got to pay my bills and I've got to go to the post office. It's contemplation.
I mean, I love smoking right at the end of the day. Then I can think about the day and what it means and find meaning in it. Contemplate, absolutely.
Η νέα γενιά χρηστών ξεκινάει από μια νεαρή ηλικία και καπνίζει περισσότερο.
I love to wake up and have a spliff. I love to have a spliff before I go to bed. I think it's great. Good evening, smoke in the playground. In the playground on the benches. Leave school and smoke some more. Come to the park, have some more. We enjoy it so much.
Τα τελευταία 20 χρόνια η χρήση κάνναβης από παιδιά κάτω των 16 έχει δεκαπλασιαστεί. Απόψε θα εξετάσουμε μια νέα επιστημονική έρευνα και θα ρωτήσουμε πόσο κακό κάνει η κάνναβη στην ψυχική υγεία των νέων καπνιστών.
So when did you guys start smoking?
Start of year 7, really.
So we're talking 11 to 12-year-old kids?
Yeah.
And you're telling me that you had your first spliffs, your first joints when you were
smoking.
11, 12?
It was about then, yeah. We weren't smoking as much as
Firstly, I mean, that is quite young to start taking any drug, really, you know, anything.
Yeah.
Can you tell me some slang names for cannabis?
Puff.
Puff.
Weed. Pot. Green.
Green. Yeah.
Skunk.
Skunk.
Grass.
Μια τάξη ενημέρωσης για ναρκωτικά για 12χρονα. Μέχρι τα 16 τους, το 38% των Βρετανών παιδιών θα έχει δοκιμάσει κάνναβη. 1 στα 10 θα είναι συχνός χρήστης.
How many of you know people that smoke it? We don't want any names, but you know people that smoke it. Okay. Right.
Η κάνναβη έχει διεισδύσει βαθιά στη βρετανική κοινωνία.
I don't really class it as a drug.
You don't class it as a drug?
No,
It's like a fag, really.
It's like a cigarette.
But it's not as much as a big deal to us anymore. It's just cannabis.
Yeah. It's just a smoke, really.
Οι πρωταθλητές της κάνναβης λένε πως ο κόσμος είναι πια έτοιμος για πλήρη αποποινικοποίηση και πως η κοινή γνώμη θεωρεί πως το ναρκωτικό αυτό είναι αυλαβές.
Parents who used cannabis in the 70s or so developed a view of it as a recreational drug, something that doesn't cause anybody any harm. I think in many ways they are conveying that image to their own children. Now it's penetrated all levels of society and has achieved the kind of unique status of almost not being a drug at all.
The truth is these people here.
Αυτή η στάση έκανε την απόφαση να μειωθούν οι ποινικές κυρώσεις για προσωπική χρήση ενηλίκων να μοιάζει φυσιολογική. Τώρα όμως υπάρχουν ανησυχητικές ενδείξεις πως οι ανήλικοι χρήστες για τους οποίους η κατοχή ακόμη τιμωρείται μπορεί να ρισκάρουν την υγεία τους. Το Μάρτιο η κυβέρνηση ανακοίνωσε πως θα επανεξετάσει την απόφασή της για χαλάρωση των νόμων περί της κάνναβης.
I'm from a mental health charity called Rethink, and we're just sort of asking people, do you know anybody that's had a bit of a problem with it? You do have a lighter, but they just stop smoking.
Ο Τέρι Χάμοντ πιστεύει πως η κάνναβη μπορεί να έχει σοβαρές επιπτώσεις στην πνευματική υγεία πολλών νεαρών καπνιστών. Είναι πεπισμένος πως έτσι εμφάνισε σχιζοφρένεια ο γιος του Στίβ.
Cannabis was the trigger. Because he was smoking the cannabis, he was beginning to binge on it. It could well be that Steve may have what they call a vulnerable personality, and I think that's probably the case, and that he may be somebody at risk. But I'm pretty sure, had he not taken cannabis, he would not have developed schizophrenia. I've got no doubt about that.
Κάποιοι ψυχίατροι έχουν πιστεί πως υπάρχει κάποια σύνδεση μεταξύ της κάνναβης και της σχιζοφρένειας, της πιο σοβαρής μορφής ψύχωσης. Οι μακρόχρονες ψυχωτικές ασθένειες είναι σπάνιες. 1 στους 100 περίπου θα το ζήσει σε κάποια στιγμή της ζωής του.
Traditionally, people with schizophrenia, many of them have had problems right throughout their life. They've maybe had some developmental problems, or as children they've been to see child psychiatrists, they didn't get on with the other boys and girls at their school. And then they gradually slipped into developing schizophrenia.
Ο καθηγητής Μάρεϊ βλέπει ασθενείς στο νότιο Λονδίνο εδώ και 20 χρόνια. Μας λέει πως στα τέλη της δεκαετίας του 80 άλλαξε το είδος των ασθενών του.
I was seeing patients with the psychosis who had been very normal as children. Children who had been great at school, who'd been academically successful, who'd been very sociable, who'd been very sporty. Really kids that every parent would be proud of and wouldn't think there were any problems. And then they went psychotic. Now that is much more unusual.
Το μόνο κοινό που είχαν αυτοί οι ασθενείς ήταν η κάνναβη. Ο καθηγητής Μάρεϊ, όπως και οι περισσότεροι ψυχίατροι, πάντα πίστευε πως η κάνναβη δεν συμπράττει στις ψυχιατρικές ασθένειες. Πολλοί γονείς το αμφισβητούν αυτό.
I still see parents who say that their son or their daughter, less commonly, has been seeing a psychiatrist, and they've always said to the psychiatrist, could it be the cannabis? And the psychiatrist has said, no, I don't think it's anything to do with that.
Η άποψη που επικρατούσε ήταν πως αυτοί που έχουν μια τάση προς τις ψυχώσεις κάπνιζαν κάνναβη για να ηρεμήσουν. Ο καθηγητής Μάρεϊ και οι συνάδελφοί του μελέτησαν πιο στενά κάποιους ασθενείς τους.
We found that the people who kept taking cannabis were 3 times more likely still to be psychotic, still to be hearing voices, still to being deluded after 4 years. So we got to thinking, maybe if once you're psychotic it makes you worse, could it actually have contributed to developing psychosis in the first place?
Ο Τζέιμς άρχισε να καπνίζει χόρτο στα 14. Σύντομα κάπνιζε καθημερινά. Έγινε αγχώδης και παρανοϊκός. Μετά έκανε το κλασικό λάθος. Σκέφτηκε πως αν κάπνιζε περισσότερη κάνναβη θα ένιωθε καλύτερα.
I thought, like, to get to sleep I could smoke dope, because dope relaxes me. So I bought an eighth and I smoked the whole thing. And then I was walking back to my dad and I started hearing voices and they're like shouting at me.
What sort of things were they saying?
They're saying like, oh, you come over here, I can help you. And I was really paranoid. Then I started thinking that the police were after me. And I thought that they're like invisible policemen with guns and they're holding to my back.
Did you know that they were like in your head, or did you think that they were real voices?
I thought it was all real. And I was going pretty crazy. And I kept on crossing the road and I kept on like speaking to myself quietly saying, oh, I'm right. And then I'll cross onto the right side, then I'll go, no, I'm wrong.
As soon as I opened the door up, James came in, I could tell there was something really, really wrong, because he wasn't even standing still on the spot. He was just kind of like jumping up and down. He couldn't keep his feet still. And it was quite a job for him just to take his shoes off when he got inside.
Ο James είχε το πρώτο του ψυχωτικό επεισόδιο. Τον παρέπεμψαν σε ψυχίατρο.
Psychosis is really a description of a mental state of an individual who in some way loses their connection with reality. So they may develop abnormal perceptions and experiences, and on the basis of those abnormal experiences they may develop abnormal beliefs. And these experiences and beliefs drive their behaviour and obviously make them behave in ways which can be unpredictable, can be bizarre to other people, and can at times be violent.
I started thinking that the TV was speaking to me. I saw like a prince in it, and I thought that as Lucifer, which is like the real name for the devil. And I thought that was like my story.
And then he started to say that he was Lucifer, the devil, and his whole face changed. and he's put on this awful voice saying that he was Lucifer in this horrible hissing voice.
I started to think that the movie was changing.